Part 2, Episode 251.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D, 37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wenny. Returning viewers, thank you for continuing to watch our show. We do appreciate it a great deal. And new viewers, welcome back.
We have to pick a knit-along.
I know. I meant to mention that. I even wrote it down here. I forgot to tell you.
Oh. So anyways, now that we mentioned that, just a reminder that we're doing the year-long Blue Moon knit-along. Yeah, that sounded weird saying it, but Blue Moon knit-along, crochet-along, spin-along. The winner from last week, oh, now I gotta remember. I've already contacted her.
She did. She already picked it and contacted the winner from last week.
But just so you know, the winner from last week was Knitting Mary B. And Knitting Mary B and Skin OUIE. Your prizes that I had to mail have been sent, and I know both of you have gotten your patterns. So
great.
I also want to say thank you to Diane and Pat from Looney Hiker.
Pat from Looney Hiker.
I know, sorry. Looney Hiker for donating both March and April. Sorry, I had to think about where we are in the year.
I know.
So this month I will be the one donating the offering a pattern for $5 or less, and the needle minder is still part of the prize.
Cool. So the new CAL, we haven't decided what it is, and we're not going to announce it right here, but Sheila will open a thread for it today. So by the time you see the show, it'll be there.
Maybe after you do it, we can just put a blurb on the...
Yeah, that's perfect. We'll
okay.
just run it under here.
The new knit along and crochet along is... there you go.
Yeah.
We also want to do a shout out to Christina and Emily. Thank you very much for donating to the podcast. We really do appreciate it.
That goes to fund our postage.
Our postage and any prizes that we may buy, which we haven't needed to. So, but it does help with the postage of sending prizes to you lovely people. And if you are interested in donating, the button is, right over there.
Over here.
Yeah.
On the blog.
On the blog. knitoneheart2.blogspot.com.
That's right. All right.
I think that's it for shout outs.
So on the dance card, and you're
on the dance card.
I was 11 yesterday.
So
yesterday.
I have a sad tale to tell on my dance card. I am still working on Atomic Blender socks. Wendy's pattern. When are you putting that out?
Well, you know, the original plan was to get it out before I had my surgery, but for various reasons that didn't happen. And now I think it would be best if we wait until I'm not taking OxyContin before I publish it, just because I would be liable to make mistakes.
So here is my in-progress sock. This is Blue Moon's Fiber Arts Mill Ends. I am doing the charts backwards because I didn't read the pattern. So this right here is actually for the left side of the sock here. Yeah. But I did it backwards. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I
really doesn't.
I keep saying when you announce it, I always say, but you can do it that way.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. You can do it even top down, cuff down.
You could do it cuff down. You could put it in the middle.
Yeah.
You could only do it on one sock and do the other sock plain.
So,
do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's really easy, and once you know how to do it, you don't even have to look at the pattern.
Yeah,
again.
It's a good pattern.
So here's my sad tale to tell. I was working on it. I don't even know what day it was. I posted it on Instagram if you're my Instagram follower. But I don't think I posted it clear enough because I got a lot of people saying, oh, it looks nice. I'm like, did you not read what I said? Because it was a heartache. So it was how many days ago? 6 days ago. Saturday? Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. I was finished because on the project half done, I knit up to a certain point and then I stopped. So I finished that point and started knitting, just plain knitting, and I noticed it was pooling. And I'm like, why is this pooling? Not that I don't like pooling, but there should have been no reason to.
Right.
My stitch per sock, or from one sock to another, they're fairly even.
Right.
I mean, the stripes may be a little off, but there should have been no real reason why it was changing that much. So I'm like, all right, well, it's not going to bother me that much. I kept going. And then I got to the ribbing, and I'm like, no, something's wrong. Then the ribbing was off. Like, something was off, and I counted. So the initial sock was 64 stitches. Because on this, typically, if there's no pattern, I can do 60 stitches on the medium weight on size 2, US 2. This one I did 68 stitches, so that was a total of 4 stitches more, which I actually added, like, it was almost 700 stitches extra for the whole entire sock.
God.
The other reason, you know, I was questioning it because I was almost done, but my ball was smaller than it should have been. When you're knitting this as much as I do, the same yarn, you get a gauge at how much yarn you use.
Right.
I'm like, why is that smaller? Well, then I knew. So I had made a mistake last time I showed you, and I was able to live with that. I was not able to live with it being too big and pooling, because when I tried it on, you could tell it was really too big.
Yeah.
Even with this being 64 stitches, it's a little big, but, you know, not enough. I ripped it all the way out down to the toe, and this is where I am. So it kind of sat in timeout, too, because once I ripped it out, I was mad at it.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So I would have been done. I was mad at it. So that's where I am now. I've actually been doing really good the last day or so. So that is on the needles.
Okay, and that
yeah, yours. Other than that, I don't have anything active on the needles, but I have other projects half done, so to speak.
So my projects that are on needles, this is the extempore shawl, and I cannot remember who that is by, so I would look it up, by Bryony Singleton. And I have started it. I'm in the middle of the row, but you can see I did one eyelet row. This pattern, I bought this pattern for myself. I was gifted some lovely patterns from people. But before I got any of them, I had purchased this one. And I wanted to use it with this gradient yarn from Freya. So I have been knitting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Have been knitting on it. First of all, I only was able to knit today. Today is Friday. My surgery was Tuesday. There was no way I could even sit up on Tuesday. Wednesday, I was sick most of the day from the anesthesia, so there was no way I could knit on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I felt a lot better, but I slept a lot. So today is the first day where I really felt like I could sit up and, you know,
be somewhat normal.
Yeah, like I've had like 2 naps today, and I'll probably have another one after I go for my afternoon walk, because the walk usually wipes me out. But so I started working on it, and first of all, it tells you, after you start knitting, it tells you, tip, make sure you have extra yarn on the edge for blocking. So I had
the extra wrap.
So I ripped it back, and I started doing yarn over twice. Well, wrap the yarn twice when I knit that edge. So now I have a nice loose eyelet on the edge. But then bizarrely, when you go to do the eyelet part, it tells you to do the double yarn over to give the extra room. So I was like, why wasn't it like that
from the beginning?
Yeah, it was very strange. And then, I don't know. This is one of those patterns where every single section I'm like, why are we doing it like this? I don't understand. And my plan was to just make the eyelet rows when there was a color transition. But then I got worried that it wouldn't work out. So I did one row of eyelets, but I decided as soon as there was a color transition, I'm doing another row of eyelets, and I'm just gonna wing it that way. So that's my plan with this. But it's very mindless. It's mostly knitting. You do 1 row with 2 increases and 1 row with 4 increases. And so it's basically knitting the same 2 rows over and over again.
Okay.
The only concern I have is it's very curled because it is stockinette, and I'm like wondering why. Again, there would be no garter up here to prevent that from happening. Do you see?
Pretty edge, though.
It is a pretty edge, but I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, it might block out.
I'm sure it will, but the problem is 1 or 2 wearings, and it's going to curl.
So, yeah.
No matter how much you block, if it's not a garter edge, it's going to curl.
I might have to put a crochet stitch or something on there to try to keep it from curling. It doesn't seem to be, well, no, it is doing it on the whole edge. Oh, well. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm like meh about this pattern.
How many projects have been done?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Out of curiosity.
I probably should have looked more, but I mean, it's the perfect mindless pattern. I'm just kind of annoyed that it has like these few little issues that I could have taken care of. And I think if I were sharper right now, I would have taken care of them.
Right.
But I kept like every section I read it wrong, and it's because I'm doped up a little bit. So I've already had to rip it out like 3 times, and now I'm like always going forward. It's just going to be a drapey shawl around my neck. I don't care if it has a few little issues. This yarn is very nice to work with.
And it's holding up well?
Yeah, it seems to be holding up very nicely since I've had to rip this out like 4 or 5 times. It's very soft, and I have 2 skeins of it, and I haven't even gotten to the first color change yet. So hopefully I'll make a nice big drapey shawl. But I got a pretty loose gauge on it. So we'll see. But I'm knitting it with US 6.
It's sport weight, okay.
It is sport weight. I don't know if this was written for sport weight or not. I'm using the needles in the pattern. Now this was this was for fingering, but I was like, I don't really care. So I think it'll be nice. It'll be a little heavier than fingering, but it will be nice and warm.
Yeah.
So that's one thing on the dance card. And this is the other thing. I've gotten quite a bit of work done on this. I am on the 4th, just about to start the 4th skein of yarn.
Oh,
I have this much
oh
left.
wow.
So it's quite long. It would probably come down to just past my elbow.
Nice.
I want it to be a little bit longer.
It's going to be a nice one for the fall.
Yep, it will be. This is Indigo Frost, and it is in Dream and Color Classy in the In Vino Veritas colorway. And I'm really enjoying it. I kept the yarn over holes pattern.
I think you'd be happy. I think you'll be happy that you did.
Yeah, I kind of like it. And it's going along well. And this is also pretty mindless that you can knit when you're not like fully with it. So yeah, that's the only other thing I have on the dance card right now.
All right, rate your dates. I have 1 date to rate and 1 project half
Do you
done.
want some sock blockers?
Yeah, I'll take one. Well, maybe we put one in. I don't think it'll fit very well. So I finished my my opal Harry Potter socks. I finished them, before last week. We just weren't able to record. And it came out really nice.
Oh, I like how that came out.
It does. It came out really nice. I mean, it's big for me, obviously, because I made them for about size 11. They do fit my son's foot. I enjoyed knitting this because it's a stripe, I want to say, each time. So, I don't know. I did have a problem, and I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this when I recorded before. So I was trying to match the stripes because there's potential that it's not for me or for my kids. And I did a pretty good job. Well, then all of a sudden, I get to a certain point, although no, they look really good.
Yeah, I think they look pretty good.
Where there was a knot in the skein. So I'm like, all right, I can deal with the knot. So I don't know if anyone else does it, but I pull a little to see how much of the yarn color do I not need to use.
Right.
Well, in doing so, I realized that it was going in reverse. So I had to unwind it all and then rewind it and get to the spot where I was matching up. And I do remember talking about this. And again, it's not a big deal, but if you're going to tie a knot, at least have it go the right way.
Because it's so cruel when you're knitting a self-striping pattern.
Because if I was doing this for myself, it would have looked so bizarre.
Yeah.
I would have had a mirror image on a sock, one sock.
And only on one half of one sock.
Yeah, it would have been like, so this I think was the color, this was the color that it was mirrored. I think it's this one here. So it would have been from here, and then it would have been, it just looked weird. Now, these were sport weight, which I didn't know at the time. They were super thick. Like,
sorry, I have a lot of air.
It's almost like a worsted weight sock. I did these on, So size 11, I think I did these 68 stitches, possibly. I think so. All my notes are in the page. So if I don't hear from the person who I was intending these for, my son has another pair.
That's right. They'll find a good
Merry
home
Christmas
somewhere.
early or happy birthday early. So that's what I have there. Just plain vanilla cuff down.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm becoming so good that I don't even have to look at a recipe or a pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is my other project. I stole this bag. It's my son's running
cute.
bag. We got it at the sport place.
Oh,
down-
Marathon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Marathon.
These are supposed to be for his spikes, I think they call them, but it's a nice waterproof.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I asked him, he said fine.
He doesn't want it.
Yeah, he didn't care. I have one slipper. And the colors came out good. This is Patton's Classic Wool. I had been gifted, so I made this last week. Looks a little narrow. I must have been one who always added the extra row that they call for. This is Bev Gillespie. Bev Gillespie.
Bev Gillespie. May she rest in peace.
Felted clog pattern. And I make a photocopy, I'm not going to show anything here, and highlight the heck out of my size.
So that she knows where to follow.
Exactly, because this is for like 7 sizes, from women's small to men's large or extra large.
Yeah, it's quite a range. I have that pattern.
Yeah, I love this. I've certainly gotten my money's worth on it.
Yes, you have.
I've made this so many times. So I have one of those done. I will, depending on the weather, I probably won't cast on this weekend because we have a lot going on. We'll see. Who knows?
Is that it?
Change. I think that's it. Yeah, I didn't work on my shawl. I will.
I don't have any dates to rate this week because I already showed you 2 pairs of socks in the last 2 weeks. That was pretty good.
So one was your atomic blender, and one was the this way, that way, right?
That way, yeah.
That's pretty.
It came out nice. The other one's in there, but I can't reach it.
No, that's fine.
Whirlwind Romance, no. There's no reason to pause on that level. Future dates.
Future dates. So I have my future Blue Moon. This is what I'm planning on doing. I told you guys about it. It's Socks that Rock. It was from the first club I joined.
Oh, right.
It's not all about me brown, and it's all about me. It's about me all the time. It's 2 colors. Oh, wow, that looks good.
Yeah, pretty. They look good together.
I just haven't decided exactly if I want to do a simple color work like checkered or if I'm going to do like snowflakes or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
What I am going to do is I'm going to wind the colored one and split them in half.
Good idea.
And use all of it for the sock.
Good.
So that's my Blue Moon. And then that will be my pattern. And my generic is just Patton's Croy.
Oh, I love that.
You made that one, right?
I did make that.
Meadow Stripes.
I think I have 2 pairs of those.
Yeah, your mom
My
made
mom
one.
made me one,
That's
and then
right.
I made some too.
So this will be at some point, and maybe at some point I'll actually work on my shawl too. I really want to do that. So those are all my. This is a makeup bag. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
future date is I don't have the yarn with me anymore. I threw it. Oh, here it is. I am gonna, after I finish this shawl, I'm gonna knit another one of the shawls that I was given as gifts with this hippo disco from Lemonade Shop.
It's cute.
Yeah, I like it. That's what I'll be doing next. I think I'm gonna stick to shawls for a while because it's kind of mindless. And
See, and I think socks are, but you do pattern socks.
yeah,
I do
a generic sock is too mindless for me.
Yeah.
I need to have something that's just like a slow speed, but I'm definitely going to knit one of the shawl patterns with my hippo disco
Good.
yarn.
That'll be nice. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Baubles and bling.
12, sorry, I was counting. I have 1 bauble and bling. I actually have another one, but I forgot to bring it because, that's how I go. It's just unfortunately me, and I do apologize. I was gifted a pattern by Mama C.
Mama C.
And the pattern is called Summertide Shawl. And it's really pretty. I'm just trying to pull it up. It was a mystery shawl. It doesn't say when, but it was a mystery shawl.
By Helen Stewart.
I thought it was. That's what it said in my library. Yeah, summer shawl, mystery K-A-L, right? M-K-A-L, that's mystery, right?
Yeah.
I don't know when. It doesn't, you know how like on Ravelry it tells you when it was published? This doesn't say it.
Oh, sorry.
It was 2 colors, but you could definitely do it in one.
That looks so pretty.
This one's really pretty. I'm showing you this one. It's a crescent-shaped shawl.
Make it a little brighter.
Yeah, I always forget.
That's really pretty. Maybe if I do it.
Yeah,
I might
think
get
the
at a
light
better
is
angle.
better. Ooh, no.
What did I do?
I don't know.
I made it change to a different picture, but there you go.
No, you didn't make it change. It really picked up our. Oh, yeah.
No, I totally did make it change. Where's the one that I can't even find the one? There we go.
So I mean, you could definitely do that with one color.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It calls for 875 yards, and I have some lace that would be great for that.
That's perfect.
And I have a bag, and I'll try and remember to bring it next week. How about a bag?
Good for you. So I have a couple of things. I was given a couple more shawl patterns by people who want me to have a fun time during my recovery. First one is Fireflies Rising, also by Helen Stewart. Let's see if I can find a good picture of it. This looks like it would be a wonderful and relaxing knit.
Looks pretty.
I like it a lot. That was given to me from Betty for Fiber. Thank you, Betty. It's beautiful. And then JD from Twisted Strands.
I was going to say, all of a sudden
I couldn't remember either. Who we've known forever, seems like. Gifted me Hamamelis by Kristen Kapoor. And Kristen Kapoor is one of my favorite designers, so I'm very excited about this. I'm trying to see. Is there like no good picture of it? Oh, I hate that. Okay, well, this is all you can see of it
in the pattern.
I
would hope that the pattern page would be better.
I'm sure it is. I'm kind of surprised. But that's really lovely too. And so I have now been given 4 shawls to knit. And that's why I feel like I might do shawls. It's been a while since I've been in a shawl phase.
I know.
And I feel like I might be that way. So thank you, JD and Betty for Fiber, for sending those to me. I really do appreciate it. And then Sheila got me a birthday present because my birthday was yesterday. So I got this big canvas tote, which I love. This is going to be my new beach bag. I got a gift card to GNC, which I will need because I have to buy protein powder.
Yeah.
I got a book of whodunits that I can solve while I'm recuperating.
That probably would have been good earlier this week when you weren't able to like knit.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been able to read. Like I'm so out of it. Like it'll be better for when I'm
if I took the price off.
Piecework magazine, which I have never looked at this before. I know of it, but I've never gotten one, and it's the lace issue, which I really like. And then she also got me a book of extreme mazes, which I told her, these definitely are going to have to wait until I'm not on drugs, because this is, like, insane.
I love mazes, though.
I know, they're satisfying.
They are satisfying. Don't look at the answers.
Oh, like I'm going to remember that.
So I was looking at another little book similar to this size, and it said, oh, really challenging mazes. I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I just did that with my eyes. How challenging is that? I'm like, okay.
So this is basically like the ultimate recovery gift bag.
It was meant for last week, but, you know, things happen.
My birthday was yesterday, so I love the colors of this. This is pretty.
It's from Barnes & Noble. You know how they do those things? And I wasn't sure what color to get, and I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, it needs to be a bright bag.
So thank you so much.
You're
I really appreciate it. I can really use everything in there. Let me write this down. Bag. Especially the GNC gift card, because things are going to get real dicey after next week when I have to start eating, like,
small foods or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to need to buy a lot of flavorless protein powder, and they don't care.
Flavorless?
Yeah, it's flavorless protein powder. So, like, say you want to have a cup of steamed squash.
You
doesn't
throw in
really have
protein
protein.
powder.
You throw in
Okay.
some flavorless protein powder, mix it in, and then you have now
Okay.
a protein-rich dinner that isn't normally with protein. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
put it in soups. You can put it in, anytime you want to put it in something where you don't want to taste. The chocolate and the vanilla ones are good for like if you're going to make a shake
Right.
or,
But if you need the extra protein, then obviously that makes sense. Flavorless would
Right,
be the way to
flavorless
go.
is like going to become a big
You
deal.
certainly don't want chocolate flavored squash.
No. So, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're
It's going to
welcome.
come in handy. Crushes and heartbreaks.
Crushes and heartbreaks. So I don't know. So much is going on. Zachary had his annual appointment on Monday, just his annual physical. And I think I said this last year. I love his doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Typically, Max had a good one too. Our practice does not seem to rush you in and out.
Ours
for
doesn't
physical.
either. I like our
And
practice
so
too.
Zachary's doctor went line by line because, hey, he's a difficult kid.
Yeah.
Went through it. How is the rheumatology? When was the last time you saw them? What's what's going on with cardiology? When do you see them again? So we went line by line. He talked over the immunizations that he's going to need. Make sure that it's okay with the doctors. Because we're getting up to teen years. They want a booster on the pneumococcal, but you can get it like 23 or something. I don't know. All these different numbers, and we're getting to that HPV.
Yeah, that's
So we were talking about that. We also talked about Zachary's going to be starting therapy, and I briefly touched upon why that all of a sudden came into play.
Right.
And so he was really super nice, super, super nice, and he approaches them very nicely too. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm in the room still. I think at Max's age at 12, I think I did step out of the room for a few minutes. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
But with Zachary, he didn't ask me, and I think that's because Zachary's maturity level is not where Max's was at this stage. So I was still in the room, but whenever he asked questions, I've learned to keep my mouth shut unless Zachary doesn't answer or he looks to me for assistance
that's what I do
whatever.
With Jack.
So that was a good crush. Otherwise, he's fine. We start seeing therapy on a regular basis next week, which the three of us have to fill out assessments on him, what we think. So that'll be interesting. The good thing is there are later times in the day, like 5:45. That'll be good.
That's good.
So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I have not met him yet. Cam met him, seemed to like him, so that was good. Work has been frustrating at the best of times. We are getting a new supervisor starting next week, and it's pretty bad. So I was at an offsite all last week. Offsites, I think 4 different offsites last week. It was crazy. And I heard a story where one of my coworkers gave another coworker a label to draw. It was maybe 45 minutes after this person came in or something like that. We do morning draws, and I'm not saying that when we're done with morning draws, we don't do any other draws. I'm not saying that. But when somebody comes in and instantly comes in and sits down, not because we don't have many chairs, we only have one and a couple of stools, not even letting us who have been working for the last 3 hours sit down.
Yeah.
It gets frustrating. So she handed him a label and asked this person to draw the person.
Yeah.
No, you're not my boss. I'm not going to do it. Last time I checked, we were being paid to draw people.
Well, yeah, it's your job.
Earlier this week, we had a bunch of us. I think it might have been Monday. Right before break, we all kind of like, okay, who's going to break? We converge. A certain doctor who is like the head of the hospital or the head of the lab of the whole entire hospital type of deal, walks by. Well, but the department has gotten into trouble if you're on your phone and he sees it.
Right.
Understandable. Not only was one person on their phone, which was fine. We were all standing around in a corner. I don't think that bothered the person. this person who we've been having issues with, who doesn't want to draw, was sitting on the counter. Didn't even make an attempt to move. I'm like, oh. Then somebody said, oh, he only drew 4 patients yesterday. 8 hours.
Yeah.
I draw an average. Again, I don't count because we draw at 5 a.m. and typically we have from anywhere from 15 to 20 patients for our morning draws. I'm not going to compare that to this person because that's not fair.
Right, because he doesn't.
But if
have
I was
those
to
hours.
compare my 7:30 when this person comes in to when I leave to his 7:30 from when he leaves, which is several hours after me.
Yeah.
And you only draw 4 patients, and I draw maybe 10 more or more, there's a problem with that.
There's always those people.
There is. You are not there to just get paid to sit around. Now, I will freely admit, it seems like that when I'm at an offsite, but I am responsible for any patient that comes in.
And you do.
I can't help.
Fashion.
I can't help if no patients come in.
Right.
But if there's patients, I draw.
Well,
and if there's patients at the hospital,
on an
I
offsite,
draw.
they're paying you to draw, but they're also paying you to be a warm body during the times when no patients are coming in to be drawn, so that they don't have to continually page someone to that area.
Exactly.
That's a part. You're getting paid to sit there.
Right.
That's a part of your job. When you're in a busy hospital situation, you're supposed to be working all the time, except when you're on break.
Right.
You're not being paid to sit around in that situation because, frankly, there's not a lot of times when you can just be sitting around.
No, and there isn't. And when we get a chance to do that, granted, we take advantage of that. It doesn't happen often. So we have to put labels of who we draw on a sheet of paper. And it's kind of sad when people have 2 sides plus another one stapled to your other sheet full of people, and there is a person who's got barely a column filled.
Well, and see, that will get noticed eventually.
I'm hoping it will. It's funny, though, because this person doesn't. So, all right, here's all our labels, and we just put them on, like, our printer. We have a printer, a label printer,
right.
And we put it on top. And when it's my turn, like when I've drawn somebody, I look for my sheet and I stick my sticker on and I leave it there. His is nowhere to be found. He doesn't have, I shouldn't even say he, but this person doesn't display their sheet.
I'm sure he doesn't.
They hide the labels.
I'm sure that's
probably
so that
could I be wrong
caught.
in some of this? I was told by someone that they did 4 one day. I don't know if that's true, so I'm covering because I don't think anyone at my work watches this, but just in case, I am giving them the, what's the something of the doubt?
Benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Benefit of the doubt that I could be misinformed. However, from what I've seen, I don't think I am.
You think it's probably true. The thing is, I said to Sheila earlier, in every workplace I have ever been in, there's always one person who does the absolute minimum they can get away with. At some places, they don't last long. At other places, they seem to last a ridiculously long amount of time. But in the end, usually
it does catch up to them.
It catches up to them.
And I have a feeling with this new supervisor, so our old supervisor worked 3 days a week. This new supervisor, as far as I know, is here 5 days a week. And from what we've been told, is going to change hours so that they will cover all shifts.
See, that
which is what it needs to be done. This person is young and was created. I can't say created, and again, I don't want to piss anyone off, but has been let to do what they've been doing. Complaints have been made and nothing has been done.
Well, hopefully that will change with new management.
Yeah. And it's frustrating for the people like us. There was another day where, so in the morning we split it trying to equal it out for breaks. There is one person who leaves at 10. She works every day till 10. God bless her. I couldn't do it. 5 to 10, I just couldn't do it. That's waking up every morning at 3:30. I look forward to my weekends where I can sleep till 6. So she goes to break with us in the morning, and at lunch, she's not there. So we're short a person on lunch. Sometimes we try and grab somebody from the second break.
Yeah.
Well, this one day, no one wanted to go with us, so it ended up being a 3-to-5 ratio. So what that means is 3 of us went to first lunch, 5 of them went to second lunch, which means when they're at lunch, there's only 3 of us covering, and we have to cover the front, which means we take and place orders.
See,
And then we have to cover the whole entire hospital. One of the people from the first lunch leaves at 1 because she was there early. So at that point, there was only 2 of us covering the whole hospital. And they were just being adamant and being childish, I guess is a good way of saying it. But we make do. I'm just venting about work. And if anyone from my work watches this, I apologize. If you have a problem with it, come talk to me directly. I don't think anyone does. And I didn't use names, but it's fairly obvious. Anyways, other than that, my husband and I celebrate our 17th anniversary this Sunday. We are going to Foxwoods on Saturday to play bingo.
That sounds fun.
It is so much fun. I'm not a gambler, and the reason I like bingo is because you pay $20. We do buy a few extras, so I mean, at the tops, maybe we spend $30 to $40.
But it's the entertainment.
For 4 to 5 hours of entertainment.
Right, because I always say, I'm not a big gambler either, but I do enjoy putting like $25 into the slot machine. And I have a little technique where I have a cup, 2 cups. Everything I win goes in one cup, and the stuff that I start with goes in the other cup. And when this cup is done, I'm done. So I always have
the winnings
left in. And if you aren't like manic about it, that's like a good amount of entertainment.
Yeah, you'd have a problem with that these days. You know why?
Because of the cards.
Not even the cards, it's paper.
Mm.
You would have to cash out almost every time. That's probably because
people do that and they caught on.
Yeah, I don't like slots because I like penny or nickel, and you don't get much, but it lasts a little longer. Otherwise, you're done in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking forward to it. Max is going to babysit.
Oh, that's good.
And it will be interesting because we go to Foxwoods, and that's down in Connecticut. It's about an hour and a half away from us. I'm a little nervous, I will freely admit. Max is 15 years old, completely capable. If Zachary was 15 and by himself, I probably would not do it. Max is a very responsible, unfortunately for him.
Lily does evening babysitting.
But going to a restaurant is different than going. I mean, we have people in our neighborhood that I'm not worried about. He knows to contact. My brother is not far, but it's that first step. I mean, he's 15. He is capable of doing that. It would never be an overnight.
We've gone with like dinner and a movie and been out for 4 or 5 hours, and she's fine. And in large part, it's because she could call like 4 different people in our neighborhood, or even just run to their house.
Right. Same with Max, and we will stress that with him.
The first time you do it, it's nerve-wracking, but
the other thing we told them, and they're not going to be happy about this, so bingo starts at, I think, 6:30. We will be leaving somewhere around 4. They've been told at 4 they're not to go out.
Yeah, that's like one of our rules.
That's going to be tough because Saturdays tend to be a big game night.
Everybody wants to be out playing in the yard.
And it's also going to be stressed that they're not to say that they're alone.
Right, that's another thing. My kids don't answer the phone unless it's somebody that they know on caller ID.
Well, I think no one calls our house because right now everybody's texting, which is sad. I never thought I'd see that day, but it is here. Zachary texts all his friends, which is funny. But I think if we need to call them, we'll make sure that we call their cell phone so that they know it's definitely us.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. This is, we have plans, but it could very well not happen.
My kids are so thrilled to have that responsibility.
Max is very excited about it.
That they're like, they follow all the rules. Like, I think it's kind of like a
because
point
they
of
know
pride.
if they don't, then it's not going to happen again, and they'll have to either get a babysitter or it just doesn't happen.
Right.
Max is very excited about it, and he did ask if he was going to get paid, and I told him yes. He asked how much. I said at least 10. He goes 15. I said, I will see what I can do. Unfortunately, he's supposed to be getting an allowance. I can't tell you the last time I paid him because it's just not there.
Yeah. We pay Lily if we ask her to babysit during the evening hours. If we ask her to babysit anytime before 5 p.m., she does it for free because I feel like that's daytime when she's going to be in the house anyway.
Right.
It's different when you have to be responsible for making sure somebody eats their dinner and gets into bed, and that's
right.
more. And then
well,
you're
that's
alone
exactly the thing
at night.
And so I think what we might have to do, for my peace of mind, make Zachary take his meds before we leave. Just for my peace of mind. But Max is looking forward to it, so we'll probably buy them pizza or something. And,
yeah, they're going to have a good time.
Yeah, and I'll probably be, the nervous Nelly mom that I am, checking in with them frequently.
Yeah, I didn't really bother after the first time I called a couple times. Now I'm like,
well, it has
whatever.
nothing to do with, us going out. It's because we're so far away. That's what's getting me concerned.
Oh, I know, but it
wouldn't
concern me.
I don't know, it does for me.
But see, I'm used to it now.
Yeah, this is like our first time. We've gone out in the sense of shopping and we're local.
Right.
Last year, Cam and I went out to dinner in Barnes & Noble and they put themselves to bed.
Yeah.
For our anniversary last year. So that's different, but because we're just going a little bit of a distance.
Yeah, no, you'll get used to it. And then it's kind of nice.
And then we'll be taking advantage of it. And then it'll be again?
It is really nice, to be able to say, this movie came out, it's not appropriate for kids. Let's go see it, and we'll just have Lily babysit. She'll make a few bucks. We get a nice night out.
And you don't even have to charge, you don't even get charged full babysitting.
Oh, no. She gets paid, I think we pay her $3 an hour.
Oh. See, I was just going to do a flat rate for him, and he thinks, because if I got a babysitter for this would be a fortune.
Oh, yeah. The babysitter that we used before we really started babysitting was something like $12 an hour.
Yeah, they're expensive for two kids.
$3 an hour. That's what you get. $3 an hour. So
we're looking forward to it.
Well, it sounds like fun.
Yeah. Now that I've spent, half an hour catching up with everybody.
So crushes and heartbreaks for me. I guess my big crush was I had my surgery and that went well. I got a bonus hiatal hernia fixed. And I think they might have sewed together the part of my stomach muscles that separated because now my stomach doesn't bulge out right there anymore. So I'm score.
There you go.
It was a bonus. The pre-op diet was not too much of a problem. The last day when I could only have liquids was hard because I was hungry that whole day, and all I could have was sugar-free popsicles, broth, water, decaf iced tea, and not even protein shakes. And, sugar-free Jell-O. So that was that sucked.
I bet.
But I was the first one up for surgery. Surgery went well. My recovery was really rough. Anesthesia always makes me sick to my stomach. That just happens. It doesn't matter. And because I was under for so long, I think it just was worse this time.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
And my voice is a little rough because I had a tube in my throat. But I love Mass General. I'm used to it there. It feels comfortable going there because I know their routine for surgery.
Right.
So I've done it so much. In fact, a couple of the recovery room nurses recognized me from my 2 pre-cancers.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, hey, didn't you have? I'm like, yeah, that was me. I'm a frequent flyer there. I'm used to Mass General surgery, the pre-op and the post-op and the recovery. And then they took a while for a bed to open up, but they put me in. I had a really nice view. I was on the 7th floor of Ellison, and I had a nice view out of my window. I was right by the window. I was with this very chatty lady, and I was so sick to my stomach and so exhausted. She kept asking me questions, and I was like, I finally said to the nurse, please make her stop talking, because I didn't want to be rude.
Right.
But at the same time, I felt like if I opened my mouth too much, I might throw up, and I really did not want to throw up. So I had that. But she was...
So did the nurse say, could we just keep it down?
The nurse said, Wendy really needs to rest. And the lady didn't bug me anymore after that. But I know her whole life story. Because sometimes she would just talk to me but not expect an answer, and she would just tell me stuff. Talk. Well, I guess she'd been in the hospital for a week, and
Oh.
I don't know. She had some long, tragic story of they weren't doing anything right, and I don't know. It was like a long thing, which, you know, I sympathize with her, but TMI, lady, I'm just here trying not to throw up. Please stop talking to me.
Right.
So, yeah, the first Tuesday was pretty tough. Wednesday morning was pretty tough. I was feeling pretty sorry for myself on Wednesday morning. But by Wednesday afternoon, I felt a lot better. Once I got a medicine that worked for the nausea, yeah, I was like, oh, now I feel fine.
Good.
And I'm not having any problem with the fluids, and I'm not having any problem with the full liquids like the protein shakes. So
what are you on now for what you can have?
What I can have is I have to have 30 ounces of full liquids, which is protein shakes, like tomato soup, which I am no way going to eat because I hate tomato soup. I guess I could have broth with protein in it. I could have organic yogurt, even blended with fruit, but it has to be like real blended, not with chunks. So those are my full liquids. So I have to have at least 30 ounces of that a day. And then 30 ounces of clear liquids a day, which is water, decaf iced tea, sugar-free popsicles, sugar-free Jell-O, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this is decaf iced tea. And I have probably had about 50 ounces.
50?
Yeah, of the clear liquid.
And how about on the full?
On the full, I can tell you because I keep track of the full. Because
do you have to keep track?
I see. I know if I complete one of these, this is 32 ounces. If I have to fill this up, then I know that I've already made my clear liquid.
But I mean, do they want you to keep track?
Well, they just want you to make sure that you're getting at least 30 of each. So I've had 18 ounces of full liquids.
You need to pick up your game on that one.
Oh no, I'll have
12 ounces.
I'll have
not bad,
I'll have a 12 ounce for dinner, and then I'll be done. Because I take those are like more like a meal thing.
Yeah.
And so I usually eat them in like 10 to 12 ounce
increments.
Shakes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've had my 2 meals, and I just have to have one more meal.
Okay.
But this drinking is the one that you got to kind of work on all day long.
The water?
The water, yeah. Or the
clear.
I'm really enjoying this liquid savvy thing. It keeps my stuff nice and cold all day. And I like that it's 32 ounces so that if I finish it, I know I'm covered.
That you're technically done for the day. If you want
with that, I could stop if I wanted to. So I'm keeping really well hydrated, and I feel fine. So that's
now,
good.
is there a way that you could have too much clear liquid? Like,
I mean, I guess you could. You know, there's a way that you can drink way too much.
But I mean, are they concerned with you drinking too much?
No,
Okay.
I think it would be difficult to drink too much. It's difficult just to drink, especially with the full liquids. It's difficult to drink how much they want you to drink. I don't know why, but the full liquids seem to make me have like my stomach spasms, which is uncomfortable. It's not painful, but it's just like,
yeah.
It's like when you swallow something and it doesn't like quite go down easily.
I mean, I can certainly understand your stomach's still healing, and
that's why. So I'll be doing this until sometime the week after next.
When do you have post visit?
I'll tell you. I can look it up. So I have my oncologist next week. Okay, and then I'm going to advanced diet group on Wednesday the 25th. And then I'll see my surgeon for follow-up. And I can ask her if she did something with this muscle here, because this is definitely new. And I'll say thank you. But yeah, when I go to advanced group, then I'll be allowed to eat things like scrambled eggs, cottage cheese, refried beans, hummus, which I think by then will be appetizing. But yeah. I have to say, you know, what is this? I had my surgery on Tuesday, so this is like my third full day out of surgery. Right. I feel pretty good, and I do not feel hungry.
Good.
I do sometimes feel thirsty. Like I need to drink because they put a lot of water on you for this surgery to keep you hydrated, obviously, because you kind of get dehydrated.
Right.
And so I came home fully hydrated, so I have been peeing a lot, but I'm keeping up with it, like with the liquids and everything. So
that's good.
I think it's going well, and hopefully this will work.
Good.
I was telling Sheila I haven't lost any weight yet, but that's probably because I gained 7 pounds of water weight from this surgery.
You'll see it next week.
Maybe. I don't even care anymore because I'm just so glad that I just, like, remember before I told you, in the days before my surgery, I was like having these like random fantasies about snatching food out of people's mouths. Like I was so hungry. That last day, I had like a 15-minute, like, it was almost like a daydream, like a waking daydream where I was thinking about garlic Parmesan potato chips and how I would like to eat them and how I could just go to the store and buy them and eat them, and how if I saw somebody standing there eating them, I would just snatch them and eat them. Like, that is not normal for me. I don't usually give a second thought to food.
That's funny.
But depriving myself during that pre-op diet phase really made me crazy. And it's so nice not to have that feeling anymore and to I feel like I don't need to eat.
Right.
I'm eating on a schedule so that I don't,
right.
I need to eat. But I don't feel like I'm starving.
Right.
I feel satisfied, like my stomach feels satisfied. So that I was a little worried that I would be one of the people that doesn't have that, have that right away. Some people take a few days to develop. I'm also lucky in that I'm not having trouble getting my liquids in. It takes me about an hour to drink 12 ounces of the full liquids, but I can drink clear liquids easier. And the thing that's saving me is popsicles. Sugar-free popsicles taste horrible, but you can chew them, so it's like a food. And they just go down so easily. I don't have the muscle spasms with that or any problems with that. So that's kind of nice. When I feel super thirsty and I wish I could just chug, I'll usually go and get a popsicle and eat that. And that feels satisfying, and that's about 1.7 ounces of liquid. So it's going good.
That's good.
And thank you to everybody who sent comments and sent prayers and stuff, because I feel like it really worked. Everything went really smoothly, and I feel positive that this is going to be a good start. Anyway, it was International Digital Scrapbooking Day, or International Scrapbooking Day. It might not even be like limited to digital. So on some of the online groups that I look at to get free stuff, they had a bunch of competitions. So my friend Diane and Oz and I went on there and did a bunch of competitions. I ended up winning, what was it, $41 in gift certificates at this one store.
Oh, nice.
And then I won an additional like $10, and then I won a free bundle which was valued at $21. Sadly, Diane only won one kit. But we both agreed that I really deserved the big prize because I spent a long time on an extremely difficult puzzle that they had. And this is the funny thing, only 6 people were able to complete it. And Diane was number 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they drew random ones. She's the only one who didn't get a good prize. I felt bad, but... So I ended up, between that and some sales that I took advantage of, I ended up getting 52 kits.
Oh, wow.
52. That's like way too many.
Yeah.
That was just the ones that I got for free, 52 kits.
Wow.
Yeah, so not that I've been doing any scrapbooking because I just can't sustain
can't focus.
Can't focus on it enough. I tag everything so I can search for it, but I'm like, oh, I just have to put that to the side. But I was like, that was my lucky, I never win anything. That was my lucky weekend.
That's funny.
So I felt like it was my lucky weekend. My surgery went really well. And for those of you who are longtime viewers of the show, this also happens to be the week of my trifecta because my anniversary was on, my 25th wedding anniversary was on the 11th. My birthday was on the 12th, and Mother's Day was on Sunday. And I got some flowers and some really beautiful cards for Mother's Day. And
Kind of forgot it was Mother's Day.
birthday, I got my little container of sugar-free Jell-O with a candle in it. And for our anniversary, my husband and I are going to do a getaway, but this is all going to happen later because this is a priority now. So it was a good, despite the fact that I was like sick in bed and had that lady talking to me for 2 days, it was a pretty good week.
Good.
So,
Glad to hear that.
So what's upcoming now this weekend? New Hampshire Sheep and Wool. Also, the Webb's Tent Sale is this weekend.
That's right.
And the Rhode Island Sheep and Wool is this weekend.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of options.
No kidding.
I will not be going to any of those. I had toyed with trying to go to New Hampshire, but I just think I'm not supposed to ride in the car for longer than 30 minutes.
Oh, geez.
So I was like, that would just be a hassle. Like, I mean, I can do it if I stop and get out and walk around for 10 minutes, but I was like, this is too much of a hassle. So I'm just going to wait. But, and then after that, I think there's a week break, and then it will be Mass Sheep and Wool, and I'm really going to try to go to that one. That's the one I'm going to try to go to. Because by then I don't think I have the 30-minute limit on car rides. And also by then I'm sure I'll be feeling like more myself.
Right.
I feel pretty good now, but I'm exhausted. Like just
Right.
doing this
Well,
podcast now, I'm exhausted.
Your body's got to heal from...
Well, I think my surgery was 2 hours, and they say for every hour you're under general anesthesia, it takes a week to recover.
Oh, really?
To get all the stuff out of your body. So, yeah. So anyway, I hope that y'all have a good week, and
thanks for watching us as always.
Thanks for watching Knit with Heart.
Knit with Heart. See you next week.
Bye.